Story. Mommy hasn't eaten. Can you share expired bread? The boy asked, while the single-dad CEO walked in. The classroom fell silent the moment the door opened. Every student expected some strict, stone-faced veteran teacher. Instead, a gentle woman stepped inside. Miss Elena, the new teacher. Her smile was warm, almost too warm for the cold stares waiting for her. But before she could even place her books on the desk, whispers spread like wildfire, and the notorious trio at the back, Hissan, Zain, and Rafi, exchanged smirks. They had broken 3 teachers last semester alone, and to them, the new one looked like an easy target. What they never expected was that within 60 seconds, they would be on their knees, begging for forgiveness. But not before the most heartbreaking truth about them came to light. On her very first day, Miss Elena noticed something strange. During breaks, the 3 bullies never laughed with others, never ate lunch, never showed joy. They acted tough, arrogant, yet when she looked closer, their eyes weren't filled with anger. They were filled with fear. Still, that didn't stop them from striking first. By noon, they had put chalk dust in her drawer, switched her markers with dried ones, and mocked her accent loudly enough for everyone to hear. The class waited for her to scream, quit, or cry. But she did none of that. Instead, she simply asked them questions. What happened to you? Who hurt you? Why do you want others to feel small? The boys froze. No teacher had ever asked them that. They were used to punishments, not compassion. The next day, things escalated. Hassan pushed a chair in her path, making her stumble. Zain scribbled insults on the board. Rafi laughed as he threw paper balls at her during attendance. That's when something unexpected happened. Miss Elena didn't shout. She didn't send them to the principal. She didn't even show anger. She calmly walked to her desk, opened her lunchbox, and sat quietly. But what she didn't expect was what happened next. Hassan stared at her food with an expression she had never seen on a child: desperation. She slowly extended the lunchbox toward him. Eat with me, she whispered. If you're hungry, it's okay. Hassan's face turned pale. Zaini's eyes widened, and Rafi's bravado shattered instantly. In less than a minute, they went from cocky to trembling. That moment cracked something open. After school, Miss Elena saw Hassan walking alone behind a closed bakery. She followed him quietly and watched him pick up a piece of expired bread from the trash. His younger brother stood beside him, weak, trembling, dressed in torn clothes. Mommy hasn't eaten, the little boy whispered. Can you share the expired bread? Hassan's voice broke as he handed him the crumbling loaf. Miss Elena covered her mouth, tears burning her eyes. Suddenly, a black car pulled up, sleek, expensive, impossible to miss. A tall man stepped out wearing a tailored suit. Adam Khan, the strict CEO of a major company, and Hassan's single father, but instead of pride, his son backed away as if facing a punishment. When Adam saw the bread, saw the tears in Hassan's eyes, something darkened in his expression: guilt. Adam never knew. He was drowning in business, meetings, deadlines, trying to provide a future for his sons after losing his wife. He thought giving them money, a home, and education was enough. He never realized that in his absence, they had been starving emotionally and, sometimes physically. Miss Elena stepped forward, her voice steady but firm. Your children are hurting. They're acting out because they're empty. Empty here, she pointed to her heart. The CEO, feared by thousands, suddenly looked like a broken man. His eyes softened, his voice cracking. I have failed them, he whispered. The moment his youngest tugged his sleeve and whispered, Mommy hasn't eaten. Adam dropped to his knees and hugged both boys. It was the first time they had felt his arms around them in months. From that moment, everything changed. Hassan apologized to Miss Elena the next morning with tears, not excuses. The other 2 followed, and for the first time since joining the school, they didn't blink back anger. They blinked back gratitude. Adam visited the school personally, not as a CEO, but as a father who wanted to fix what he broke. He asked Miss Elena for guidance, for advice, for support, something his pride once never allowed. Over the weeks, the boys transformed. They helped classmates, studied harder, and showed a kindness that had been buried under months of loneliness. And yet, Miss Elena always remembered the moment everything shifted. The question that broke the walls of 3 bullies. Mommy hasn't eaten. Can you share expired bread? The story of Miss Elena and the 3 boys spread throughout the school. It changed how teachers saw bullies, how students saw each other, how parents understood misbehavior. It reminded everyone that behind every angry child is a story, a wound, a silent cry for help. And as for Adam, he became the father his children needed, present, patient, and healing alongside them. Miss Elena didn't just become their teacher. She became the anchor that saved a family falling apart. In the end, she often said, a child's cruelty is rarely born from hate. It is born from hunger for love, attention, safety, warmth. Feed the hunger, and the cruelty fades. And in that classroom, where bullies once ruled, kindness finally took the throne.